you see my page? Can you see? It's example 2 and example 5 of your notes. So you need to do them on your worksheet, on your Google sheet that you shared with me. The same file, but you open a separate sheet for example 2. You open a separate sheet for example 5. That's the assignment, and you need to submit it on or before Thursday. That's this Thursday coming. That's the assignment. Okay.
Oh, okay. So that means we'll be having we'll be having classes every day up to Thursday, oh?
No, no.
Okay,
According to
okay.
our schedule, I think you need to be. Are you already part of the WhatsApp group? If you're not, you
Yes,
need
yes,
to.
yes, yes. On the group, yeah.
Probably the dates that we're supposed to have classes, and if my memory could serve me well, after today's class, we're going to have a class on Thursday uh,
Okay. And then
at
Friday.
5, and on Friday also we're going to have class, and then on Saturday. So hopefully
Inshallah.
we may finish the syllabus by Saturday, inshallah. Okay?
Inshallah. Okay,
I
thank you
think,
so much.
Thurs- Mr. Fofana, I think you said Thursday is 5 to 7, right?
Thursday, yes, it's 5 to 7, yes.
7, yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So right, I think we've well, you have to tell me how do you find this question? How do you find this question?
I think it's somehow complicated. What need to try to go over it again and again so that he can capture all the trick that it consists.
Right, silent. Okay, good. Yeah. Like I warned you when we are starting, I said limiting factor decision is unlike the other subjects, the other topics on the accounting for short-term decision making. It's a bit complicated, but not difficult. Like I said, the way I teach it, I try to make it as simple as possible. I try to make it as practical as possible. I try to make it as reasonable as possible. Okay, so you can understand. It's unlike the way some people may teach it. They'll just give you blah, 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 and then you won't understand anything, at the end of the day. Okay, so I try to, inject some life into it, and then I try to explain its practicalities as much as possible. Okay, right. So
Sorry,
I
Mr.
think this is
Fofana.
fine. So you will find this, in case you cannot understand it, like I said, you can always revert to the video. And, if you go step by step, you'll understand it. And of course, this worksheet, I'm going to download it again and share with you. So you can go through the workings. If you want to see the formulas, like I say, you'll always go to the view menu and then say show formulas. All the formulas will be displayed. And once you click on them, you'll be able to see their source. Okay? Yes. Was it you wanted to say something again?
Yes. After short-term decision, which topic will left?
We're going to do investment appraisal or accounting for long-term decision making. So that's what we're
After
going.
this topic, it's only that one that is left.
Yeah, it's only that, and then that one is only a few topics. That is payback period, NPV, and of course accounting rate of return and IRR. Okay. So those are, so hopefully if we do 2 classes, 2 long classes, we will be able to finish those topics. And then that will be the end of it. Yeah? Okay? Right. So let's go to example.
But can we stop here
Sorry?
for today? I'm
Sorry?
very tired.
Hello, Mr. Fofana.
Boy, come in one more class.
Yeah,
Mr. Fofana.
Amadu ni batare it is jenke yen tol fu yaman tol mam batare nte mam batare anu ne
Hello,
hana be
Mr.
batare.
Fofana.
Yes, Hydra.
Mr. Fofana, I'm pleading. I leave my home and I have a baby there. I'm at the office so that I can have the network connection. Yesterday I had it in my house. I could not join the class because of network failures. So since in the morning I'm here,
Maria, call them. Call
Yes.
them. You have only 1 hour to go. 1 hour extra to call. Call
Okay.
them. Tell them to give
Oh,
something to the baby because I think all of you, your time might be important, but my time is more important. After this week, after
yeah.
next week, you might not be able to see me. To be honest, I'm so busy. As we are talking, I've got so many trainings that are booked for me. I'm on a full-time, employment. I mean, how to call it? I have a small accountancy practice that I need to prepare people's, financial statements.
Okay, no problem, no problem.
So
Just because you told us that you will close
yes.
by 3,
So
that's
just
why.
go according to me.
Yeah,
Just try to sacrifice as much as you can. I think it's really
no
important.
problem.
I
Yeah.
keep saying to my students, you people are very lucky. When I was
Yeah.
doing my courses in the UK, it was a different story. Whatever I got it from hot fire. Not a cold one, but a hot fire. We know fire can never be cold, but some fire can be a bit cold. So my own fire was very, very hot. Okay, if I tell you my story, you won't believe it. I mean, I was doing 2 full
Oh,
times.
okay.
I was a
Okay,
full
thank
time
you.
student. I was a full time employee working, and I was a full time babysitter. 3 full times. I got to juggle with them. Sometimes it will go up to 2 days, 3 days without having a correct sleep of 2 hours. If I tell you this, you won't believe it. I usually go to work. The days I'll go to work, I go to work from 7 in the evening. Okay. And where I work is not the same city from where I live, and where I go to study is different city. Okay. So I go to work from 7 in the evening to 7 in the morning. Okay. Different city. Okay. Newbury. From work, 7 in the morning, guess what? Everybody, if you work, what do? You go back to home and sleep. But not me. And a lot of boys were doing the same thing. So I'll go from the city I work early in the morning, not taking bath, did not sleep, go past the city I used to stay, and then go to London for my classes. Guess what? After class, what I'm going to do? Go back home and sleep? No, I go back to work again. So to be honest, you are lucky. So let's go. You are getting it in the easy way.
Mr. Fovan.
Yes, sir.
Yes, after completing the syllabus, are we going to have a revision class with you before the exam?
No, you'll not have any revision class with me. Sometimes some students will do tutorial, so they will do tutorial.
When is the exam date actually?
That one we'll discuss after completing the syllabus, my brother. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Okay, fine. So, shall we move, please? If you think you have to stop here, please feel free and do that. Yeah, feel free and stop here if you think you can stop here. But I'm moving, please. We have one more question that we need to do before we close for today. I'm sorry for doing it this way because I want to do justice to you to complete the syllabus. That's why I'm doing all this. And to be honest, like I said, my time is more important because I'm the one who gives, So you take. So if I give and you take, you should always be available to take. Does it not make sense that way? Okay, let's go. Mr. Fowler talks a lot sometimes. Don't mind. Okay, so we're going to look at example 7, W, X, Y, and Z limited. Okay. Let me see. I hope you've got this question handy. If you have not got it, I'm going to project it now so that you can take a screenshot of it. And you can screenshot it. Okay, I'm going to project it now. Okay, so this is the question we're going to look at. Please, I give you 1 minute to screenshot it so that we can move on. Yeah? Okay, so I'm going to go to my spreadsheet so we can start doing the question. So stop. I'll come here, 5%. Right. So, shall we move? Example 7, W, X, Y, and Z Limited. W, X, Y, and Z Limited makes 4 products, W, X, Y, and Z, for which costs and sales in the next year are expected to be as follows. Sales units, 2, 4, 3, 1,000, respectively. Direct material cost, direct labor, and then we have our total variable cost of 17, 7, 12, and 19. The sales price per unit, 29, 11, 18, 39, respectively. And the contribution have been calculated for you as well. Okay. If something have been calculated for you, take note, don't waste your time to calculate it. In this case, contribution has been calculated for you. So don't waste your time calculating the contribution. If you do, you're just wasting your time. You're not going to gain any marks. Okay. The company is having difficulty of obtaining the materials. Each product uses the same material, and the only one type of material is used in manufacture. Okay, and only one type of material is used in manufacture. Only one. The expected available materials next year are 11,000 kilos. The material costs £5 per kilo. An overseas manufacturer is willing to supply the items to the company at the following costs per unit, including delivery. Okay, take note, costs including delivery. I was telling you yesterday that if delivery cost is given, you must add it to the cost, because in fact, delivery cost is part of the purchase cost. Because if you don't purchase, you will not deliver. So cost to buy 20, 11, 15.75, 21.5.
Hello, Mr. Fofana?
Yes.
Mr. Fofana? Yeah, can you please let me screenshot it, please? I don't have the question. I want to screenshot it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hello?
We passed. Okay, I'll do it again. Don't worry. Yes, I'll do it, Mariam. I'll do it. I'll do it now. We had done it before, but if you have not done it, I'll do it again for you. Never mind. Okay, so that's the question. You can screenshot it, yeah? So required, which items should the company make internally, and which items should it buy from the external manufacturer? Okay, so if you look at this question, once you are given information that something is in short supply and a particular quantity is what is available for that something, and then in addition to that, you are given some information which states the buying price, always know that this has to do with 2 topics, limiting factor and make or buy. Okay, like I said, it's a friendly topic. That's limiting factor mixed with make or buy in exams. Okay, so then they don't usually ask a separate question on make or buy or a separate question on limiting factor. They're usually commingled. Okay. So this is the question we have, and by the statement that came immediately after the first table, which says the company is having difficulty of obtaining materials. What does that tell you? When you have a difficulty of obtaining a particular factor, so what does that say? Hello? Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have a difficulty in obtaining something, that means that thing is scarce, isn't it? Okay, it means that thing is scarce. Okay, so and it went further.
Material is the limiting factor.
Excellent.
Material, the raw material is the limiting factor.
It's a limiting factor. Excellent. That's true. That's true. That's true. Okay, that's true, Mariama. Okay, good. So it went further to say that each product uses the same material and only one type of material is used in manufacture. The expected available materials next year are 11,000 kilograms. So what that means is what may be required to produce 2,000 units of W, 4,000 units of X, 3,000 units of Y, and 1,000 units of Z will be more than what is available. That's the first thing that should click, isn't it? So as such, if we have to answer this question, what should be the first thing that we should do? What should be the first thing that we should do? So what should be the first thing that we should do? What should be the first thing that we should do, class? What should be the first thing that we should do? The same way as the question we answered, the same approach. So what's the first thing we do?
11,000 kilos are not enough.
Hmm?
Calculate the
I think we should calculate the
limiting factor.
gas resources.
So the first step that we do is we calculate the extent of the limiting factor. Excellent. Okay. So first, let's open our new worksheet. I click on Add Worksheet. I just double click on it and then type EG7. EG7. Then I go to B2. I type the name of the company. The name of the company is W, X, Y, and Z. W, X, Y, and Z Limited. W, X, Y, and Z Limited. Okay. So this is the name of the company. Okay. So we will do the statement, the heading later on when we reach there. For now, what we're doing is we're going to do our workings. Okay. We can put it on the same. Okay. In fact, we can leave the optimal production as the heading here. Okay. So we can use that as the heading here, and then just at the bottom, we can do our workings, because the rest will be our workings. So what we can do is we can go to 6A. The heading is already there. So we don't have to do anything but just to copy it. Okay, because I think it's the same requirement. It says, what's the requirement? Which items should the company make internally, and which should it buy from an external manufacturer? Okay, so we could just, this is it does the same thing, but the heading is different. So let's just type our heading. So this will be make or buy decision with a limiting factor statement. Okay, so we say make or buy decision. ACI make or buy decision with a limiting factor. Okay? So make or buy decision with a limiting factor. Okay, so we can we're going to leave that part, and then we come down and we do our workings. Let's say we're going to start from row 20, so we can have our workings. Okay, we can have our workings. Are you following? So the fourth thing that we should do in our workings should be what? We should calculate the extent of our limiting factor. Okay, so we should calculate the extent of our limiting factor, or we could just say limiting factor. Okay, we could just say limiting factor, extent of limiting factor, or limiting factor calculation. Okay, so time is of essence. Just make your description as short as possible, short and precise as possible. Okay, so we say working, so we say working one will be our limiting factor. Okay, so how do we calculate our limiting factor? Can anyone help? how do we calculate our limiting factor? Ibrahima, how do we calculate our limiting factor?
Yeah, our limiting factor here is material, direct material.
Okay, good. So the first thing to say is our limiting factor is direct material. Sorry, I'm in class. I'll call you after class. I'm still in class. Yeah, so our limiting factor, sorry, someone called me, right? Sorry about that. Someone called me. Right. Our limiting factor is material. Excellent. Good. That's the first thing to say. So now, how do we calculate our limiting factor? The extent of our limiting factor. First, we have to calculate what is required. Okay? What is required, we compare it to what is available, and we calculate the shortfall, just like the previous question. So how much is required? How are we going to know that? How are we going to know how much is required?
Yeah, we just multiplied by like the sales units.
Okay.
The sales unit multiplied by the material for W and X, Y, and Z.
For W, X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Okay. So so that means we have our products W, X, Y, and Z. Okay. Those are our products. And then we find the units. We've been given the units, isn't it? Okay. What are the units? What are the units?
2,000.
Okay. 2,000.
4,000.
4,000.
4,000.
3,000.
3,000.
3,000.
And 1,000.
And 1,000. Excellent. Now, so in order to know the total kilogram of material that is required, what should we multiply these units by? So naturally, it will be material in kilo per unit. Material in kilo, in kg, unit. This is what we need so that we can be able to calculate the total kilograms of materials. Okay. 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 So how are we going to get material in kilo per unit?
We just say equals to.
Okay, equals.
Equals to this is C23. Equals to C23. Is it?
Equals
C22. Sorry. C22.
Okay, equals C22. C22 is the heading.
Yeah. Huh?
C22 is the heading.
Is the heading.
Sorry, Mr.
C23.
Ford, give me.
C23 as
Can I try?
Yes.
hello.
I think it is going to be material per kilo, which is 5 in the question. The material cost per kilo is 5.
The material cost per kilo, 5. Okay, the material cost per kilo in the question is what?
5.
Okay, the material cost per kilo is 5. Okay, what do we need? Do we need the material cost per kilo or we need the material in kilo per unit?
I think it's going to be material in kilo per unit.
Exactly.
That one, it is going to be 10, 5, 7.5, 12.5.
Okay. What we need is the material in kilo per unit.
That one are the one given for the materials, like for 10, double is 10.
W is?
10.
Okay, W is 10, yeah.
X is 5, Y is 7.5, and the other one is 12.5.
Okay, but those are direct material cost per unit. Okay, they are direct material cost per unit. The direct material cost per unit is the direct material in kilogram per unit multiplied by the direct material cost per kilo. So, in other words, that 10, 5, 7.5, and 12.5 has a result of multiplying a particular number by 5 to give you 10, to give you 5, to give you 7.5, and to give you 12.5. Is that clear?
Yes, I think it is going to be like 10 divided by the material cost per kilo 5.
Huh?
I think it is going to be like for double, it is going to be 10 divided by the material cost per kilo.
Okay, that's fine. Exactly.
In order to have the number.
Because to get the material, to get the unit material cost, it's the 5 multiplied by the number of kilos per unit. Okay, so to get that number of kilos per unit, it is 10 divided by 5, 5 divided by 5, 7.5 divided by 5, and 12.5 divided by 5. Okay? Okay?
Yes.
Good. So let's do that. So the material in kg per unit, so we're going to say equals 10 divided by 5. We go to x equals 5 divided by 5. And we go to y equals 7.5 divided by 5. And then we say equals 12.5 divided by 5. So this one we have 2, 1, 1.5, and 2.5. Is that clear? So this is the material in kilogram per unit. So the kg per unit. Is that clear, everybody? 2, 1, 1.5, and 2.5.
So, Mr. Fona, can one also say this is the number of material need to produce 1 kilo, to produce 1 unit.
This is the number of
kilos.
This is the quantity of material you need to use to produce 1 unit.
The quantity.
So the quantity that you need to produce 1 unit. Yes. You know, to get the material cost per unit, it is the material quantity multiplied by its unit price. Simple. Okay? Multiplied by its unit price. Is that clear? Okay, so we need to move. Then now we can do our, how to call it, our total kg, total material in kg. Okay, total material in kg. So we say equals this multiplied by that. So we replicate. Okay, so we can replicate. Okay, is that clear? Four thousand, 4,500, and 2,500. Okay? Are we together?
Yeah.
Good. You seem to be tired, but we are doing only this question, so don't worry. I'm sorry for keeping you this long, but it's for your good. Okay? So we have the total materials in kg. So if we want to find the sum of it, it's going to be equals sum bracket opens. So we click here all the way there. We close the bracket and we enter. So the total materials in kg that is required in kg required is 15,000. Okay. So what is available?
10,000.
11,000.
11.
Total available is 11,000. And the shortfall,
1,000.
the shortfall is the difference equals is
4,000
minus that.
Yeah.
That's 4,000.
Just
Okay, is that clear? So we require 15,000 kilos of material, but we have only 11,000. So we cannot produce all these quantities here because we have material as our limiting factor. Okay. So now, if that is the case, simply, logically, what do? Which one do we produce? We produce the material that is going to cost us more. Okay, we're going to produce the product that is going to cost us more if we have to purchase it. You know, it's a make or buy. Okay, so which one do we make? Which one do we buy? If we have to make, we are going to make the ones that are more expensive to buy when we compare it to the scarce resource. As simple as that. Okay, so this time around, we are not using contribution per unit, but we are using the cost. Okay, we are going to use the cost as our benchmark. What cost? The cost of buying, because we have two options. If we don't produce, we are going to buy. So if we have to produce, let us produce the product that will cost us more if we have to buy. Logic, simple logic. Okay, so that's what exactly we're coming to do. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to find the variable cost of each of them. So I'll just produce these product headings here again. So I just click on them and then I replicate here. Okay. Then what's going to happen is we're going to do our optimal production planning. Okay. 1 second, let me just. Okay, so now, like I said, let's find the cost. Okay, let's find the extra cost of buying. So first we look at the variable cost of making, we look at the variable cost of buying, we compare them, and then we find the difference, which is the extra cost, and then we try to find the extra cost per scarce resource, and then we do our ranking based on that. Okay, is that clear? Right, so we're going to have a variable cost per unit to make. VC unit make. The variable cost per unit to make. And what is our variable cost per unit to make? Our variable cost per unit to make is given on the question. Okay? Can you give me, please? Huh?
17.
17, 7,
12.
12,
And 19.
and 19. 17, 7, 12, and 19. So that's our variable cost of making. Okay, and what is our cost of buying? That's the purchase price. Our
20.
of
20.
buying, okay, it's 20.
11.
11.
15.75.
15.75.
And 21.5.
21.5. Okay. We cannot see them because these ones have been expressed to 2 dp. So let's make them to 1 dp. So we highlight them. We just extend this. We just click on these ones. So that gives us this in 1 dp. Okay. In fact, it's rounding them up. So let's take them to 2 dp. Okay, good. Okay. So we take them to 2 dp so we can nicely see them. 20, 11, 15.75, and 21.50. Okay. So now we know the variable cost of making and we know the variable cost of buying. Then let's find the extra cost of buying. Okay. So we find the extra cost of buying. So our decision will be based on the buying. Okay. So we have to make sure we buy, we have to make sure we make the product which will cost us more to buy. Okay. But then that cost will have to depend on the scarce resource. Just like we've used our contribution per scarce resource in our decision, in our ranking. So the extra cost of buying, extra cost of buying. Okay, so we have extra cost of buying per kg, extra cost of buying per kilo. So we say equals, the extra cost of buying is going to be what? The buying price less the making price.
Making price.
Simple. So we say equals C30 minus C29, and then we replicate. Okay, so we have 3, 4.
3.
Should be, let's just take that also to 2 dp. So we highlight, and then we click this once, we click it twice. So it's going to be 3.75 and 2.50. So you have 3, 4, 3.75, and 2.50. Okay, so that's the extra cost of buying. Okay, that's the extra cost of buying per unit. Okay, but then we cannot use this in our decision because always we have to put the limiting factor into consideration. So we use the limiting factor in our decision, and so we're going to use our extra cost of buying per kilo in our decision. Okay, so the extra cost of buying, per kg will be our basis to do the ranking. Okay, so we do that extra cost of buying. sorry. This extra cost of buying is not per kilo. Extra cost of buying per unit, sorry. Unit. Okay. So we're going to use the same extra cost of buying per kg. We paste. So we change that to kg. The extra cost of buying per kilo, how are we going to calculate that? Just like we've calculated our contribution per machine hour. How are we going to calculate that? Are you with me? I know everybody's tired, but we'll soon finish. Don't worry, we'll soon finish. Okay? So the extra cost of buying per kg will be the extra cost of buying per unit divided by the material in kg per unit. Just like we've seen when we were doing our contribution per scarce resource. The same thing here. So we say equals C31 divided by C24. Okay, so we have to can just replicate that. Okay, are you following?
Yes.
Following this.
Following. Excellent. So we take that to 2dp also. So that will be 1.50, 4.0, 2.5, and 1. So if we have to rank, what will our ranking be based on? Our ranking will be based on the most expensive product that we need to buy per kg. Okay, we need to that should be the first one that we should produce. So ranking. So which one should be that? The most expensive one is what we should produce.
Yeah,
Why?
that one will. Why?
Why?
No.
Why? Is it
No.
why?
It's X.
Okay, right. Sorry, we just do it here. Okay, so that will be X. So X is going to be 1. Okay, so as the first one, followed by
Followed by
Y.
Y will be 2, and then followed by
W.
W will be 3, and then X will be 4. Okay. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So I hope you understand the rationale behind this, yeah? So we first have to calculate the extent of our limiting factor. We know what is available, we know what we require, and then we find the shortfall. Now, we have an option to either make or to buy. Naturally, if we have to make and buy, we have to make the ones that are going to be more expensive to buy. Simple. If we want to make the best use of our, if we want to do our optimal production plan. That's clear. So this is why we did this. Now that we've got this, everything becomes easy. So we can go up and then do our optimal production plan as we have here. So that's our main answer. So the same thing here. We can use our products as we have them here. So we can link them here, equals. We come to W here. So we just drag up to Z. Now we're going to align this to the right. So everything is nicely aligned to the right. Okay. No, we don't have to do it this way because we're going to add all of them together. So we don't have to put them in columnar form like this, but then we have to do them like this, just like we've done in our previous question. So we have products. Okay, we have products. And what is next? As per our previous statement, units is in it. Okay, and then kg. You know, the last question we had hours, but this time around it's kg. And then what is next, class? What is next? What's the next column we have?
That's the total column.
No, the contribution
Or
per unit.
contribution.
Okay, contribution per unit. Don't worry, it's almost past time, but we'll be ready in 5 minutes. Okay, we are almost done. So contribution per unit, and then we have our total contribution.
Total contribution.
Total contribution. Okay, good. I'm so sorry for taking the whole of your Saturday. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do our make. So is the make. Oh my God. Make class, I'll call you after. Make class, I'll call you after. Yeah. Sorry about this. My phone is connected to my laptop, so the calls will come in when they come. So, okay. So the first thing is going to be the make. So which ones are we going to make? Okay. Simply, we said we have to make the ones that are more expensive to buy. Okay. So the most expensive to buy is this, followed by that, like that. Today's class, there were some interruptions because I have people that I'm working with downstairs. Okay. So, right. This is the ranking. So we start with product X, followed by Y, and then W, and then Z. Okay, because that's the way that's the way they've been arranged. Okay. So first we have to make week one. Which one do we make first?
X.
X. Okay.
X.
So how many units of X do we require?
Everything.
Everything. And everything is what? 4,000, isn't it? Okay. And how many kgs will that be? How many kgs will that be? How many kilograms per unit do you need for X?
2.
2. Okay. So it's going to be equals, is it 2 or 1?
I think it's 1.
We are not seeing.
Okay, equals this. Don't worry, it has been a long day. So we say equals 4,000 multiplied by, in fact, we have this down here. For X is 1, isn't it? So we click here, we enter. Okay, so we have 4,000, 4,000. Okay, now, which one is the next product that we need to make?
Y.
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 Okay. How many units of Y do we have to make?
Everything. It is going to be 3,000.
3,000. Everything is 3,000. And then, how many kgs will that be? 3,000 multiplied by
1.5.
Is Y, is it?
Yes, 1.5.
Okay, Y is here, 1.5. This has been rounded up, so but we can take it to 2 dp here. So we can increase it so that it looks nicely 1.5 and 2.5 like that. Okay, excellent. So for Y, that means the number of kg it's gonna take will be 4,500. Always watch out for your count for the kgs that are available. So far we have how many kgs?
We have 8,500.
8,500. How much is available?
11.
11,000. So let's have our total here so that we don't make mistake. So our total kg, let's do our addition here, equals sum, bracket opens. So we can have our addition here. Okay, and close the bracket, we enter. Okay, so far we have 8,500. Okay, and what is the next product that we have to make according to the ranking?
W.
W. Okay, so it's W that we need to make. Okay, so W, we cannot say we're going to make everything because we don't have enough kgs to make. Now, what is the balance of kgs that we have remaining? The total is 11,000. Sorry, 11,000.
Yeah, 11,000 minus
8,500. Okay, so that's 2,500. So 2,500 is what is remaining. How many units will that be? This divided by how many kgs for W? Is it not 2 kg? Divided by 2?
Yes.
We enter. Yes.
It's 2.
Okay, so we're going to get 1,250. Okay, 1,250 units of W. Okay, so this is the total that we can make. Now the next thing is buy. Okay, which one do we buy? So which one do we buy? We're going to first start buying from the balance of W, isn't it? So W balance, the balance of W. So the balance of W is what we're going to buy, isn't it? So, and how much is the balance of W?
It's going to be 1,250 minus 2,000.
Excellent. Okay, so 2,000 minus 1,250. Okay, so that's 750 units. Okay, and then which product also? After W, we have one more product, isn't it? Which one is that?
Z.
Z. So Z, how many units do we have to buy?
1,000.
1,000. That's the total units, isn't it? Okay, excellent. So our optimal production plan is this: 4,000 units of X, 3,000 units of Y, 1,250 units of W that we're going to make. The balance of W 750 we have to buy, and the whole of 1,000 units of Z. So this is our optimal production plan. And our optimal production plan, I will repeat, is based on the fact that we have to make the ones that are more expensive per kilo to buy. The ones that are more expensive per kg when we have to buy them. Okay? So that we have to make savings. Okay? So now we can go and do our contribution. So what's the contribution per unit for X?
It's 12. Sorry, 4.
Contribution per unit for X, isn't it? We're starting with X.
It's 4, yeah.
For X, we can get it from here. The contribution per unit for no, we have not calculated that. So that we have to type because it was given to us, yeah, on the question. So the
it was given.
Unit for X is what?
Is 4.
4. Excellent. Okay. The contribution per unit for Y is what?
6.
6. Correct. The contribution per unit for W is what?
12.
12. Okay. And the contribution per unit for W, if we have to buy, you have to be careful here. if we have to buy W, what's the contribution per unit? People have stopped. If we have to buy
20.
W, the contribution per
It's
unit will
20.
be. Yes, go ahead.
20. 20.
Okay, you have to tell me the formula. How are we going to calculate the contribution per unit if we have to buy W? It is the selling price of W less the buying price per unit of W. What's the selling price of W?
It's
It's
20.
29. The selling price of W is 29. Is that not the case?
Yes.
Okay, so equals 29 minus the buying price of W.
20.
Okay, we enter. So we have 9. Okay, and then what will be the contribution per unit if we have to buy Z? The same thing. Can you give me the formula? Equals, what's the selling price of Z? What's the selling price of Z?
39.
39.
The
39.
selling price of Z is 39 minus what's the buying price of Z?
21.5.
21.5. Excellent. Okay. So we can take this up also to 2dp. Okay. So you have 17.5 and you have 9 for W. So now easily, let's find our total contribution. So to calculate our total contribution, we multiply the units by the contribution per unit. As before, we enter, okay, we replicate. Okay, so we have 16,000 for X, 18,000 for Y, and 1,250 quantity for W will be 15,000 contribution, and 6,750 for W if we have to buy it, and 17,500 for Z if we have to buy it. So this is our total contribution. And here we don't have any fixed costs, so our total contribution will be equal to our total profit. So we say total profit, which in this case, like I said, is the same as our total contribution. So we say equal sum, bracket opens, we click from here all the way here, we close our bracket and we enter. So our total contribution of cost, which is equal to our total profit, is 73,250. Okay, so this is where we're going to end. Thank you so much for coming. You can leave if you don't have any question. If you have question, of course, we can use the next 5 minutes to ask questions. Okay. Right? Any questions?
Mr. Fofana.
Hello, Mr.
Yes,
Fofana.
ma'am.
You know,
Hello. Rabiatu, yes. Go ahead, Rabiatu. Go ahead,
You know,
Rabiatu.
this question is not asking us for profit. I think it's only asking for make or buy. So in case of example, something like that, can we just stop at whether it should be made or buy?
No, I mean, this question is a make or buy question, which is mixed with limiting factor. But of course, it's asking for the profitability. Every question will ask you about the profitability. Why do we decide whether to make or buy, or we use a limiting factor? It's because we want to determine our optimal profit, our maximum profit that we can gain as a result of the limiting factor. Okay? Is that clear, Rabiatu?
So after
Hello, Mr. Fofana.
is it necessary to
Yes.
comment on it? Like explain why you are saying.
Yes, of course. After doing the how to call it, after answering, you need to comment on it. Yeah, you need to comment. But if you are not asked to comment on it, you don't have to comment. In exams, we will be told whether to comment on it or not.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, hello, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Umar. Umar, you wanted to ask a
All right,
question,
thank
Umar?
you.
Yes, Mr. Fofana.
Yes, Umar. Ibrahim, before.
You know, in this question, like all the relevant costs of making
Mm-hmm.
are less than the relevant cost of buying.
Yes.
You know, that's why we all of them we started from making, and later the extra product that we cannot make, then we buy it outside.
Yes.
Like in a case whereby like it is a mix up, like some of them should be buy they should bought some of them, and some of them they should make them. In that case, are you going to concentrate only for making? In this calculation later you add up the buying.
Yeah, what you do is before you decide what to make or what to buy, you must first determine your limiting factor and then do your ranking, your optimal planning as per your limiting factor, and then that will give you an idea as to which one to make and which one to buy. And in a situation like this, and in any situation whereby you are given an option to make a product or to buy it from an outside supplier, whereby material is a limiting factor, you need to consider, of course, your buying price and your making price. Okay, so you compare the two, and naturally, if your objective is to provide an advice that will give you the highest profitability, you'll always go for an option whereby you will make the ones internally that are more expensive to buy from an outside supplier. Okay? Because the reason is that in your own situation, in a situation whereby you have to make, whether you make or not, you still have to incur certain costs. So it is prudent to make products in-house that will be more expensive if you have to buy them from an outside supplier. I hope that answers your question, Umar.
Yes, it is correct. Yes, it answers it. But you know, in this case, all of the real cost of making, they are less than the relevant cost of buying. That's why we started from buying. Or it is always like in this format.
What do you mean? The relevant cost of?
You know, in this question, sometimes like the previous question that we did yesterday, you know, it is normally a mix up.
Okay. When you look, I think I understand the part you are asking. When you look at the statement that we did here, okay, where before we did the ranking, okay, look at it. The making costs are 17, 7, 12, 19. The buying are 20, 11, 15.75, 21. Is it not more expensive to buy in each situation?
Yes, it's more expensive. I understand that one. I mean, in a case like for X, if it was like 13,
okay,
to make it, when you compare it with buying, in that case, you have to skip X force or.
Okay, you mean in a situation of X?
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
you
when
mean
the cost of making is more than the cost of buying.
let's say the cost of making is more than the cost of buying.
Yes.
Okay, in that case, just like the question we have done before, if the cost of making is more than the cost of buying, we are going to buy. Okay, we're going to buy first, and then the rest we make. And if we have to make the rest, we have to consider, we have to rank them based on their use of this scarce resource. You understand? But the reason why we want to check whether to buy or to make in this situation, in each of these instances here, it is expensive to buy. But whereby one of the products is cheaper to buy, naturally we'll go for that because at the end of the day, we want to maximize profit and minimize cost, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Good. So that was a good question, yes. Okay, any more questions, please?
Mr. Fofana?
Yes, Mariama.
Hello?
Yes, Mariama.
Mr. Fofana?
Yes, Mariama.
Yes, please, can you help me? I missed this point where you calculate the extra cost of buying per kg. I don't know how you get it.
Okay, the extra cost of buying per kg, that's where I'm on now.
Yes.
The extra cost of buying per kg is comparing the variable cost of making and the cost of buying per unit. Okay, so the extra cost of buying, we know in each of the situations, it is more expensive to buy. So the extra cost of buying will be the difference between the buying price and the making price. Okay, so this is why we took the buying price minus the make price for each of the situations. Is that clear, Maria?
No, Mr. Fofana, I mean the per kg. I mean the 1.5 for 2.5 and
oh, okay. The extra cost of buying per limiting factor. So what we did was, when you look at the formula, what we did was we calculated the material usage per kg already here. Okay, that is this 2, 1, 1.5, and 2.5. So the extra cost of buying per kg is going to be our basis for taking decision because, like I said, we always take decision based on the limiting factor. Okay, based on the limiting factor. So the limiting factor is the material. So if we have calculated the extra cost of buying per unit, that's not enough to take decision on. So this is why we calculated the extra cost of buying per kg by dividing the extra cost of buying per unit by the material kg per unit here. So in order to get this, we divide this 3 divided by 2, that gave us our 1.5. So we took 4 divided by 1, that gave us our 4. Is that clear, Maya?
Yeah, it's clear. Thank you.
Good.
It's clear.
And Maya, when you go, please apologize to the baby. Tell the baby I'm sorry. It's Mr. Fovana who kept you that long, huh?
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. So is that all? I think we have to wrap up here. It's been a long day since 1 o'clock. I'm really sorry. It's about 4 hours plus class. 4 hours plus class.
Yeah,
I'm really sorry.
Mr. Fofana?
Yes.
Yeah, the exams will be on I guess it's gonna be on paper practical, right?
Yes, it will be on paper, but of course you expect some questions that will come on spreadsheet. If you look at the last exam paper, I think you must look at that. Last semester, their exam paper.
No,
there
we are
was
not having it.
full-blown question on spreadsheet. Okay, you are not going to do it physically on the machine, but it will ask you about scenarios, what formula do you apply, how do you do them, and stuff like that. Okay, because it's the same understanding. Once you can answer that, then that means if you have the computer before you can be able to answer it. Yeah.
Okay, so can someone help us, or can you help us have the past paper? Let's take a look.
I'll just ask the last exam, how to call it, last semester guys. They will have the past papers.
Oh, many